My wife Willow like missed every time she said she was sleeping over at her best friend's house. The next day she would come back with a radiant, glowing face. 7 years of marriage. It was always the same. Today I secretly followed her, only to discover she had checked into the Hilton Hotel, through the floor-to-ceiling glass windows. I saw her locked in a tight embrace with Vice President King Hao. In that moment, my entire world collapsed. Leaf T.O. Why are you here? A familiar voice sounded behind me. It was Willow like Mist's best friend, Lee Snow. I turned around, forced a smile, and brushed past her. You mistook me for someone else. Lee Snow's eyes flickered away. Willow asked me to tell you. She's sleeping at my place tonight. No need to wait up. I nodded. My heart turned as cold as dead ashes. Even her best friend was helping her lie. When I got home, the empty apartment nearly suffocated me. I turned on the computer and began checking 7 years of bank statements. Each transaction line made me tremble with shock and rage. My monthly salary. I had handed every cent over to Willow, like Mist, to manage, keeping only 1,000 yuan for my own living expenses. Yet she had used my money to buy luxury watches for King Hao, booked fancy restaurants, even secretly added King Hao's name to the apartment we bought together after marriage. I laughed, a laugh full of bitterness. For 7 years I had been a complete fool, giving her all my savings. To save money, I only dared eat 8 yuan lunchboxes every afternoon, while she spent my money to enjoy herself with another man. The phone rang. It was a message from Willow like Mist. Darling, I won't be home tonight. I'll go straight to the office tomorrow morning. Sleep early, okay. Love you. Those 2 words, love you, now felt like cruel mockery. I deleted the word okay I had typed, changed it to got it. Then I began packing my things. Since she had chosen betrayal, I no longer needed to pretend I knew nothing. I wanted to leave, to disappear completely. But before that, I had one last thing to do. I called a private detective. Help me gather some evidence. Evidence of my wife's affair. Mr. Leaf, how long will it take? 1 month. I want evidence as solid as rock. I hung up, then started sorting through all the documents from the past 7 years. Bank transfer records, screenshots of messages, call logs. I wanted her to know how tragic the price of betrayal could be. The next morning, Willow like Mist came home, her face radiant, clearly in an excellent mood. Darling, did you sleep well last night? She took the initiative to hug me, kissed my cheek. I smelled another man's cologne on her. Fine, I answered flatly, it's the weekend. Let's go see a movie. It's been ages since we had a proper date. She acted coy, as if nothing had ever happened. I looked at her delicate makeup, and suddenly felt she was a complete stranger. Was this woman truly the wife I had loved for 5 years and been married to for 7? Forget it. The company has a project that needs overtime. Willow like Mist's face showed a hint of displeasure. Overtime again? Doesn't your company let employees rest? No choice, it's for our livelihood. She sighed. Then I'll go shopping with Lee Snow. I nodded, watched her retreating back. Once she left, I immediately called the detective to start the operation. I wanted to know her every move. For the next month, on the surface I still went to work and came home on time, still handed over my salary, still said good night. But in secret I prepared everything. The detective was highly efficient. In less than 2 weeks, he delivered the evidence I wanted. Hotel check-in records, intimate photos, transfer screenshots, even shots of them in the car, and an indescribable video. Looking at this pile of proof, my heart did not stir in the slightest. Perhaps after hurting for so long, I had already gone numb. What angered me more was discovering that King Hao was actually already married. His wife was the daughter of some conglomerate chairman, meaning Willow like Mist was nothing more than his plaything. Yet she naively believed she had found true love. I began the second phase of my plan, quietly contacted a lawyer, prepared divorce papers. At the same time I started transferring assets. Over these 7 years, although I gave all my salary to Willow like Mist, I still had other sources of income. A small app I wrote back in college, that paid me several $100,000 in dividends every year, and an old house my parents left me, remote location, but now worth over 2 million. Willow like Mist knew nothing about any of this. I had to ensure that after the day we divorced, she wouldn't get a single cent. Right before the day I planned to lay my cards on the table, Willow like Mist suddenly brought up having a child. Darling, we've been married 7 years. Isn't it time we had a baby? She leaned on my shoulder, her voice extremely gentle. I sneered inside, only now remembering children, afraid, or trying to use a baby to secure her position. Let's wait a bit longer. Our financial situation isn't great, but I'm already 28. If we wait any longer, I'll be a high-risk mother. She sounded anxious. Wait until I get promoted and a raise. Willow like mist stopped pressing, but I could feel her dissatisfaction. That night, she claimed she wasn't feeling well, refused intimacy, then used the excuse of taking a shower, actually hiding in the bathroom to call King Hao. I pressed my ear to the door and listened. How? He doesn't agree to have a baby. What should I do? Wait a little longer. I'm handling the divorce procedures. Once I'm free, I'll marry you. Really? You're not lying to me, are you? Of course it's true. When have I ever lied to you? Hearing this, I smiled. King Hao was deceiving her. According to the detective, King Hao's wife was currently pregnant with their second child, due next month. How could he possibly divorce at this time? Willow like mist, this foolish woman, was being sold, and still helping count the money. The next morning was Friday. I deliberately took leave, waited until Willow like mist left for work, then began carrying out the final plan. First, I organized all the evidence, turned it into a beautiful PowerPoint, then emailed it to King Hao's wife. Subject line: a few truths about your husband. The content was simple, just those photos and videos. I believed that as a wealthy heiress, she had more than enough means to deal with King Hao. Next, I started packing my luggage. 7 years of marriage. I didn't have many belongings. A few sets of clothes, some books, and the old camera I cherished. Everything else I no longer needed, including that apartment. Although I had paid the down payment, since Willow like mist had added King Hao's name, let them fight over it. 2 p.m. My phone rang. It was Willow like mist. Darling, President King got blocked in his office by his wife. The whole company is watching the drama. Her voice was excited, clearly still unaware of what was happening. I replied indifferently. I heard his wife brought an entire legal team, wants to sue for divorce. It's going to be quite a show. Exactly, I'm going to watch. I'll be home late. She hung up. I knew the real drama was just beginning. 7 p.m. I received a reply from King Hao's wife. Thank you for the evidence you provided. I have already arranged lawyers to handle this. Additionally, I would like to meet you. I replied, no need. I only felt you had the right to know. 4:30 p.m. I received a call from my lawyer, Mr. Lee. The divorce agreement is ready. Are you certain you want to proceed as originally planned? Absolutely. Then I'll send it to Miss Liu right away. 5 p.m. Sharp. My luggage was packed. I left a letter on the dining table, then dragged my suitcase, and walked out of the home I had lived in for 7 years. The letter was very simple. Willow like mist. By the time you see this letter, I will already be gone. 7 years of marriage. I gave everything, only to receive betrayal in return. I don't blame you. Everyone has their own path. The divorce agreement has been sent to your email. The apartment is yours, but so are the debts. Besides, I wish you and King Hao happiness, though I doubt he will marry you. Finally, thank you for letting me see reality clearly. Goodbye, Leaf Tio. 7 years later, I stood in the VIP lounge of the international airport, watching planes take off and land in the distance, gazing far away. My phone rang. It was my assistant, President Lee. Are you certain you'll attend tomorrow's board meeting? Absolutely. It's time to come home. I hung up, straightened my suit. 7 years. From an ordinary employee earning $8,000 a month, I had become the CEO of a multinational corporation. When I left, I carried only anger and despair. Now returning, I only wanted to see how those who once hurt me were living or dying. The plane touched down at the city airport. It was already 10 p.m. The driver took me straight to the hotel. In the presidential suite, I opened my laptop and began reading news from the past 7 years about Willow like mist and King Hao. 2 months after I left, King Hao was kicked out by his wife, not only lost his vice president position, but was sentenced to 7 years for embezzling company funds. As for Willow like mist, after King Hao went to prison, she was fired from the company, apparently for helping him move company assets. Now, she works as a receptionist at a small firm. Monthly salary: 7,000 yuan. Seeing this news, I didn't feel the satisfaction I had imagined, only that fate truly loves to toy with people. The next morning, I wore a custom-tailored suit, took a Rolls-Royce to the CBD business district, There stood the mobile office tower I had invested in, also the venue for today's board meeting. The elevator went straight to the top floor. In the grand conference room, more than a dozen shareholders were already waiting. President Leaf, welcome back. President Leaf, we're all looking forward to this project. After some polite small talk, the meeting officially began. I announced one decision: establish a branch in this city, with an investment scale of 5 billion. The news caused an immediate sensation. After the meeting ended, I specially asked my assistant to contact several local media outlets. I wanted everyone to know Leaf To had returned. At noon I was at the city's most upscale restaurant, inviting a few old friends. We were all college classmates having meals, now each doing quite well. Old Leaf, where the hell have you been these years? Suddenly vanished. Didn't even post on Moments. Went abroad to start a business. Just got back. I explained briefly, look at all this extravagance. You've made it big, pretty decent. A few small achievements. While talking, the restaurant manager approached. Mr. Lee, there's a lady who says she knows you, wants to meet you. I frowned. Who? She says her name is Willow like Mist. My friends instantly fell silent. They all knew what happened between me and Willow like Mist. Let her in. A few minutes later, Willow like Mist followed the manager inside. 7 years apart, she had changed tremendously. The exquisite makeup of the past was gone, replaced by weariness and sorrow. Wearing ordinary office attire, the fabric clearly worn and frayed, she stood beside the table, tears welling in her eyes. Leaf To, it really is you. I set down my wine glass, looked at her coldly. Do you need something? Willow like Mist bit her lip. Can I speak with you privately? My friends tactfully found excuses to leave. Willow like Mist sat across from me, reached to hold my hand. I dodged. Where have you been these 7 years? I searched everywhere and couldn't find you. Went where I needed to go. Leaf To, I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. She began crying. King Hao lied to me. He never intended to marry me. I slowly sipped my red wine. No plans. After he went to prison, the company fired me too. These 7 years I've lived miserably, regretting every single day. And then, Willow like Mist froze. And then what? What exactly do you want to express? I took a deep breath. I want to come back. Can we start over? I smiled, quite relaxed. Willow like Mist, do you think that's possible? Why not? We once loved each other so deeply. Moreover, she hesitated. Moreover, we are still not officially divorced. This sentence surprised me a little. What do you mean? I never signed the divorce agreement. I kept it at home. Never went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to complete the formalities. A gleam of triumph flashed in her eyes, as if she had seized an important bargaining chip. So legally, we are still husband and wife. I set down my glass and looked at her. You think not signing can salvage anything? At least it proves I still love you. These 7 years I've always been waiting for you to return. Waiting for me to return. I laughed coldly, or waiting for me to get rich before returning. Willow like Mist's face changed. What do you mean? I just landed yesterday. Today you show up. Your news network is impressive. Her expression turned panic. I just happened to pass by a restaurant with an average spend of 7,000 yuan. Willow like Mist was speechless. I stood up and straightened my clothes. Willow like Mist, 7 years ago you chose King Hao. Now that King Hao is finished, you remember me again. No, that's not it. I've always what? Always regretted or always waited for me to become wealthy. My voice grew colder. If I were still that 8,000 yuan a month office worker, would you come looking for me? Willow like Mist lowered her head and didn't answer, but her silence said everything. Fine, since you won't sign voluntarily, I will proceed through legal channels. I took out my phone and called my lawyer. File for divorce. The sooner the better. Hearing this, Willow like Mist suddenly knelt down. Leaf To, please don't divorce me. I truly know I was wrong. Diners in the restaurant all stared at us, whispering. I felt extremely impatient. Get up, don't make a scene here. I won't get up. If you don't forgive me, I won't stand, she cried loudly, attracting even more attention. The restaurant manager came over to ask if we needed help. I waved him away, then crouched down to look at Willow like Mist. What exactly do you want? I want to go back to how things were. Let's start over from the past. I laughed. The past? When you took my money to buy gifts for another man. Did you think about the past then? Willow like Mist cried even harder. When you embraced King Hao in that hotel, did you think about our past? Back then I was an idiot, giving you my entire salary every month. What were you thinking? Willow like mist could no longer speak. I stood up, looked down at her from above. Willow like mist. We can never go back, with that. I turned and left the restaurant without looking back. Behind me came her heart-wrenching sobs, but I did not turn around. Some roads once taken wrong are wrong forever. Some people once lost are lost forever. That night back at the hotel, I had just finished showering. The doorbell rang. Through the peephole I saw Willow like mist. I didn't open the door. She knocked for half an hour outside, from pleading to cursing, finally taken away by hotel security. The next morning, I went as planned to inspect the branch site. In the most prosperous part of the CBD, I bought an entire 70-story office tower outright. At the signing ceremony, several mainstream media outlets were present. Reporters fought to interview me. President Leaf, why did you choose to return and develop here? It was time to come home. A falling leaf returns to its roots. I heard you're investing $5 billion to build the branch. Any plans for the future? Within 7 years, I want this branch to become the industry leader. That very day, the news made prime time on local television. I knew Willow like mist would definitely see it. Sure enough, that night she came to the hotel again. This time she changed tactics. No more crying. Instead dressed very formally, as if here to discuss business. Leaf Tio, I want to discuss one condition with you. What condition? Give me one chance to prove my love for you. I leaned on the sofa, curious how you'll prove it. Give me 1 year. If I cannot make you fall in love with me again, I will voluntarily sign the divorce papers, and never bother you again. The proposal was rather interesting. If you refuse, I will keep clinging forever. After all, divorce litigation takes a very long time. I smiled. This woman had gotten smarter. How do you plan to prove it? Hope flashed in Willow like mist's eyes. I want to work at your company, starting from the lowest position. Use my actions to show my sincerity. You think I would agree? I know this request is excessive, but it's the only way I can think of. She paused. Moreover, I have news you'll definitely be interested in. What news? King Hao has been released from prison. That was indeed unexpected. Wasn't he sentenced to 7 years? Early release for good behavior. He got out yesterday. Willow like mist bit her lip. He came looking for me. My face instantly turned ice cold. What did he want with you? He said I was the one who got him in trouble. Now I have to compensate him. Compensate with what? Willow like mist didn't answer, but I could guess it wasn't far off. So you came running to me again? No, she hurriedly explained. I truly want to start over with you. I stood up, walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. Outside was the city night view. Neon lights flashing, traffic flowing like water. 7 years ago when I left, my heart was filled with rage and unwillingness. Now, returning, I found everything had changed. King Hao, from a lofty vice president, had become a convict. Willow like mist, from a proud office worker, had become a lowly receptionist. And I, from the pitiful betrayed man, had become someone they had to look up to. Fate is truly fascinating. You really want to work at my company? Willow like mist nodded vigorously. I can do any job, even cleaning. Fine. Report to HR tomorrow. She almost jumped with excitement. Really? But there are conditions. I turned to look at her. During working hours, we are only boss and employee. Don't you imagine anything else. Second, I can fire you anytime. No reason needed. Third, your salary will be market rate, not 1 extra cent. I accept, and the most important point. I walked right in front of her. I will not develop any feelings for you just because you work here. Proving anything is your business. But I must tell you, between us it is over. Forever. Why impossible to start again? Willow, like mist's eyes, dimmed for a moment, but quickly regained determination. I understand, but I still want to try. The next morning, Willow like mist appeared on time at HR. I deliberately had my assistant place her at the reception desk. Salary $7,500, almost the same as her previous job. Watching her sit at the ground floor reception counter, I felt nothing. During the afternoon meeting, I glanced through the glass wall, saw her working seriously, answering phones, registering visitors, organizing files, very diligently. President Leaf, what are you looking at? My assistant followed my gaze. The new receptionist, quite pretty. I looked away and continued the meeting. That evening, when leaving work, Willow like mist came to my office on her own. President Leaf, I finished all today's tasks. No problems, right? Mom. I didn't look up, continued reading documents. Then I'll get off work first. Wait. I called her back, starting tomorrow. You'll handle my daily schedule and take meeting minutes. Willow like mist was surprised. But I've never been a secretary. Learn. Yes, I'll do my best. She turned to leave. I called her again. Willow like mist. Yes. Don't think giving you more work means I have any intentions toward you. I simply need an assistant, and you happen to be here. Her expression showed disappointment, but she still nodded. I understand. The following days, Willow like mist truly worked very hard. Arrived at the company at 7 a.m. every morning, prepared coffee and the day's schedule for me. Meeting notes were extremely detailed, files perfectly organized. She even remembered all my food preferences. But I remained cold. Business is business. No personal feelings involved. One evening about a week later, I worked overtime very late. Thought Willow like mist had long gone home. Unexpectedly, she was still in the outer office area. Why haven't you left? I'm organizing materials for tomorrow's board meeting. Want to make sure nothing goes wrong. I checked the time. Already 10 p.m. Overtime pay at standard rate. No need, this is what I should do. She lowered her head, continued working. Didn't look up at me. I returned to my office, but left the door open. Through the crack, I saw her focused working figure. For some reason, a complicated feeling rose in my heart, but I quickly suppressed it. No matter how hard she tried now, it couldn't erase the fact she once betrayed me. 1 month later, King Hao appeared. That afternoon I was in a meeting. My assistant rushed in. President Leaf, someone is causing trouble downstairs. Says he must see you. I frowned. Who? A man named King Hao, with a few shady-looking guys. I immediately recalled what Willow like mist had said. Meeting paused for 10 minutes. I went down to the ground floor lobby. Saw King Hao arguing with security. 7 years in prison had changed him greatly. The once polished vice president in suit and leather shoes now looked like a street thug. Leaf Tio, seeing me, he walked straight over. Didn't expect you made it big. Do you need something? Of course. He lit a cigarette. Let's find a place to talk. I glanced around. Many employees watching. To my office. In the elevator, King Hao sized me up. Really didn't expect. The broke loser who ate 8 yuan lunchboxes could open such a big company now. People change. Indeed, he sneered. For example, your wife. Now, awfully obedient. My hand clenched into a fist. What are you trying to say? Relax, we're civilized people. We can talk calmly. In the office. I closed the door. Speak, what do you want? King Hao sat on the sofa, crossed his legs. Very simple. I want 10 million. On what grounds? On the grounds I know some secrets you don't. He pulled out his phone, showed me several photos. Photos of Willow like mist. Very revealing ones. Taken when we were together. I bet you've never seen them. My face darkened instantly. What are you planning? 10 million buys these photos and related videos. Otherwise, he shrugged. You know how fast things spread online. I stared at him, coldly. You're threatening me. No, no, no. This is a transaction. King Hao stood up. You're a big boss now. Reputation matters, right? If people learned your wife had photos like these. She's not my wife, but legally she still is. He smiled slyly. Plus I know she works at your company. If I send these to your employees. I took several deep breaths. Forced myself calm. Give me 7 days. Fine. I'll be back in 7 days. King Hao walked to the door, turned back. Oh right. Willow like mist is very worried you'll find out about us. She still doesn't know I came to ask you for money. After King Hao left, I sat thinking for a long time. This scum. First thing after release blackmailing, but I couldn't let him succeed. I called a number. Help me investigate someone. King Hao recently released. I want all his information. How long? As fast as possible. Hung up. Then called Willow like mist in. Has King Hao come looking for you? Her face changed. How did you know? He just came to the company. Willow like mist panicked instantly. What did he say to you? What do you think he would say? She lowered her head. Dared not meet my eyes. Leaf Tio, those photos, I can explain. No need to explain. I cut her off. I only ask one thing besides the photos. Does he have anything else on you? Willow like mist thought. No more. Just those private photos. And that video. How much did he ask you for? He didn't ask me for money. I laughed coldly. He didn't ask you, but asked me for 10 million. Willow like mist stared wide-eyed. 10 million. Is he insane? Do you think I should pay? Absolutely not, she said quickly. He's scum. Pay once and there'll be a next time. Then tell me what to do. If the photos get out it hurts us both. Willow like mist, bit her lip. Maybe I go beg him. Beg him. I stood up. With what? Your body. Willow like mist, how naive are you? You think King Hao is any good. The reason he hasn't touched you yet is because you still have use. Once he gets money from me, you think he'll let you go. Willow like mist, completely panicked. Then what do we do? How about we call the police? Call the police with what evidence? He hasn't actually threatened yet. I sat back down. Plus, once the police are involved, everything becomes public. Then it won't just affect me. It will affect you too. Willow like mist, stood frozen for a long time, finally burst into tears. It's all my fault. If I hadn't been with him, none of this would have happened. Watching her cry, my heart was a mess of emotions. The woman I once loved deeply, now because of her own mistakes, causing me such huge trouble. What's the use of crying? My tone was icy. We need to solve the problem. Whatever you say, I'll listen to you. I thought for a moment. For now, do nothing. Wait for my news. That night I received the investigation report. After release, King Hao had been gambling in underground casinos, owed a lot of money. Creditors gave him 1 month, or they'd chop off fingers. No wonder he was so desperate to blackmail me. Additionally, King Hao was hanging out with old criminal buddies, seemingly returning to his old ways. After reading the report, an idea formed. The next day, I arranged to meet King Hao at a cafe. Thought it over, he asked impatiently the moment he sat. 10 million is too much. I'll give you 2 million. 2 million, his face darkened. You begging beggar. It's already a lot. Think carefully before answering. King Hao pondered, gritted his teeth. At least 8 million. Not a cent less. Then no deal. I stood to leave. Wait. King Hao grabbed me. 5 million, can't go lower. I glanced at him. 7 million cash deal. Seeing his greedy look, I sneered inside. 9 p.m. tomorrow. Abandoned warehouse at the old docks. Money for goods, deal. But I want to check the goods first. Of course. 9 p.m. The next night, I brought a suitcase filled with newspaper to the appointed place. King Hao was already waiting, with 2 burly men beside him. Where's the money? I lifted the case. Where's the stuff? He pulled out a USB. Everything's in here. I need to verify first. King Hao tossed me the USB. I pretended to check. Money. Right at that moment, police sirens suddenly blared. Several police cars surrounded the warehouse. Many officers rushed in, hands up squat. King Hao froze instantly. What's going on? I cooperated and squatted, my heart completely calm, because I had arranged everything. Soon the police found drugs on King Hao. Yes, drugs. Before the meeting, I had someone slip a bag of white powder into his pocket while he wasn't looking. King Hao, you were suspected of drug trafficking. You are now under arrest. Impossible, this isn't mine. King Hao struggled wildly. Leaf To, you set me up right. I looked innocent. King Hao, what are you talking about? I only came to do business. The police took King Hao away. The USB was also confiscated as evidence. I knew this time he'd get at least 10 years. And even if he got out later, he'd never dare trouble me again. After all, if I could plant drugs once, I could do it again. Back at the company, Willow like mist was anxiously waiting for news. How is the problem solved? Solved. King Hao was arrested, suspected of drug trafficking. Drug trafficking. Willow like mist's eyes widened. Since when? Who knows? Maybe picked up bad habits in prison. I said indifferently. Anyway, he won't bother us again. Willow like mist exhaled. That's good, that's good. Seeing her relieved look, I didn't tell her the truth. Some things she didn't need to know. The days that followed, everything returned to calm. Willow like mist kept working at the company, very diligently. I maintained my previous attitude, strictly professional, no personal feelings. But I could sense, her attitude toward me was quietly changing, from initial subservience and flattery, to genuine respect and admiration. Sometimes, the way she looked at me reminded me of many years ago, when we had just fallen in love. She used to look at me with that same adoration. But that was the past. Now we were merely boss and employee. 7 months later, the company gained a new investor, a very charming woman, named Sue. Graceful, over 30, elegant temperament, extraordinary conversational skills. Most importantly, she highly valued me. President Leaf, your business vision is truly exceptional. I'm completely confident in this project. We often discussed projects together, occasionally dined together. Sue Graceful was interesting. Talking with her always taught me a lot, and she never pried into my private life, always kept perfect distance. This made me very comfortable. I noticed every time Sue Graceful visited the company, Willow like Mist's expression became unnatural. Once Sue Graceful came to discuss contract details. We talked very late. After she left, Willow like Mist came to my office on her own. President Lee, would you like coffee? I just brewed it. Thank you. She placed the coffee on my desk, hesitated, then asked, is President Sue your girlfriend? I looked up at her. How is that any of your business? I was just curious. Willow like Mist, I hope you remember your place. You are my employee. Nothing more. My private life is none of your concern. Willow like Mist's face went pale instantly. Sorry, I overstepped. Indeed, you did. I continued reading documents. Mind your boundaries in the future. She turned to leave. I called her back. By the way, President Sue is not my girlfriend. She is my business partner. But even if she were, it's still none of your concern. Willow like Mist's body trembled, then quickly left the office. I knew my words were harsh, but she needed to face reality. There could never be anything between us again. Another month passed. Willow like Mist's work performance began declining. Frequent mistakes. Distracted. Even zoning out during meetings. I called her in for a talk. Your recent performance has been poor. Any problems? No, just a bit tired. Tired, I laughed coldly. Or heart tired? Willow like Mist looked up at me. Tears in her eyes. Leaf to, I've really tried so hard. Why won't you forgive me? When did I say I would forgive you? Then what do these months of effort mean? They mean doing your job. I stood up. Willow like Mist. When I agreed to let you work here, it didn't mean I would forgive you. I thought I had already made that point crystal clear. But no. I cut her off. If you feel this working environment no longer suits you, you may resign at any time. Willow like Mist started crying with heartbreaking sorrow. I don't want to resign. I want to keep proving myself. Then do your job well. Don't let me see your personal emotions affecting your work performance. I understand. From that day on, Willow like Mist truly restrained herself a lot. She worked seriously, no longer asked about my private life, no longer looked at me with those longing eyes. It was as if she had finally accepted that we were only boss and employee. Yet I knew she hadn't completely given up hope. A woman's intuition is terrifyingly accurate, especially when it comes to love. At the end of the year, the company held its annual gala. As chairman, I had to give a speech and present awards. Willow like Mist, for outstanding performance, received the Employee of the Year award. When she walked onto the stage to accept it, thunderous applause rose from the audience. Thank you to the company for giving me this chance to prove my worth all over again, she said on stage. This past year I've learned so much, and grown so much. I will keep working hard, and live up to everyone's trust. She never looked at me, but I knew those words were meant for my ears. After the gala ended, all the staff went to a KTV to keep the party going. I hadn't planned to join, but Sue Graceful insisted on dragging me along. Time to loosen up a little. You can't always be about work. The private room was lively. Everyone had drunk quite a bit. Sue Graceful sat beside me, occasionally clinking glasses and chatting. Willow like Mist sat alone in the corner quietly drinking. President Leaf, let's do a duet, Sue Graceful suggested. I'm not much of a singer. It's fine. I'll teach you. She picked a very gentle love ballad. We sang together. My voice wasn't great, but we harmonized pretty well. When we finished, the whole room erupted in applause. President Leaf and President Sue make such a perfect couple. When are you inviting us to the wedding toast? Everyone started teasing. Sue Graceful just smiled without denying it. I didn't deny it either. I noticed Willow like Mist's face growing darker, and her glass emptying faster. Everyone keep having fun. I'm heading out first. I stood up to leave. I'm coming too. Sue Graceful stood up with me. We left the KTV together. Her driver was already waiting outside. Need a ride home? She asked. No thanks. I'll just grab a cab. Alright, tonight was really fun. Thank you for singing with me. My pleasure. Just before getting into the car, Sue Graceful suddenly turned back. President Leaf, when you have time, I'd like to treat you to dinner. Just the two of us. The meaning was crystal clear. I thought for a second. Sure, we'll set something up. Sue Graceful smiled, satisfied, and drove off. I was about to call a taxi when I heard footsteps behind me. I turned and saw Willow like mist. She was swaying a little, clearly drunk. Leaf Tio. Wait for me, why are you out here? I'm going home too. She walked up beside me, reeking of alcohol. We're going the same way. Where do you live? Same direction as you. I hailed a cab. Willow like mist, naturally climbed in. In the car, she leaned against the seat, eyes hazy, staring out the window. Leaf Tio. Are you really going to be with Sue Graceful? That's none of your business. I know it's none of my business. She turned to look at me. I just can't accept it. Can't accept what? Can't accept that we ended like this. Her voice choked. We used to love each other so much. Why can't we start over? I didn't answer. Just kept looking out the window. Is it because Sue Graceful is better than me? Willow like mist, you're drunk. I'm not drunk. She suddenly grabbed my hand. Leaf Tio. I truly know I was wrong. I will never betray you again in this lifetime. I pulled my hand away. Let go. I won't. She burst into tears. Why won't you give me one more chance? The driver glanced at me in the rearview mirror, looking extremely awkward. Driver, pull over for a moment. The car stopped at the roadside. I told Willow like mist, calm down, or I'll have to ask you to get out here. She let go. But tears kept falling. Sorry. I lost control. For the rest of the ride, she said nothing. When we reached her complex, before getting out, she asked me one last question. Leaf to you. If time could turn back, would you still choose to be with me? I looked into her red, swollen eyes, and stayed silent for a long time. There are no ifs in this world. She nodded. I know. Watching her stagger toward the building, a complicated feeling rose in my chest. Seeing my former love reduced to this, was I too cruel, or did she bring it on herself? The next day, Willow like mist, called in sick. I assumed she felt embarrassed about last night's outburst, so I didn't press. But 7 days later, her direct manager came to me, President Leaf. Miss Liu has submitted her resignation. I looked at the letter. It simply said, resigning, for personal reasons. No further explanation. Where is she? She didn't come in today. Said she's handling the exit procedures. I called her number. Why are you resigning? I've thought it through. We really shouldn't continue like this. Her voice was very calm. Thank you for taking care of me these past few months. I'll hand over my work properly. So you've really thought it through? Yes, I have. I could hear it. She had truly let go. There was no more crying or pleading in her tone, only a quiet acceptance. Fine. I approve your resignation. Thank you. Willow like mist. Anything else? No. Take care. After hanging up, I sat in my office staring into space for a long time. This was probably for the best. With her gone, everyone could relax. No more awkward daily encounters. No more uncomfortable silences. No more of those longing and disappointed looks. I could finally start living my life again. That evening, Sue Graceful called and invited me to dinner. I said yes. 1 month later, Sue Graceful and I officially became a couple. She is truly outstanding. Outstanding in every way. Successful career, independent personality, considerate and mature. And she never pressured me. Being with her felt easy. No scorekeeping. No suspicion. No shadow of betrayal. We went on business trips together. Had dinners. Watched movies. Just like any normal couple. Sue Graceful never asked about my past. And I never brought it up. She knew I had been married before, but never pried into details. That kind of tacit understanding made me feel completely at ease. One day we were strolling through a mall, and saw a beautiful pair of couple rings in a jewelry store. Sue Graceful asked, do you like them? They're nice, but I feel love matters more than material things. Her words reminded me of Willow like mist. Back when we got married, I spent all my savings to buy her a 1-carat diamond ring. She was as happy as a child. Said it was the best gift she'd ever received. But later she sold that ring to buy a luxury watch for King Hao. What are you thinking about? Sue Graceful noticed I had zoned out. Nothing. Let's go. But I still bought the rings. Because I felt that since I'd started a new relationship, I should give it my all. Sue Graceful was surprised when she saw them, but happily put one on. Thank you. I love them. As long as you like them. We hugged. People around us sent envious glances. This was the life I wanted. Simple, pure, no deception. But fate always loves its little jokes. Just when I thought everything would go smoothly from now on, Willow like mist appeared again. That day Sue Graceful and I were dining at a restaurant. She suddenly appeared in front of our table. She looked much thinner. Her complexion wasn't great, but her spirit seemed all right. Tio, what a coincidence. I frowned. Quite the coincidence. Sue Graceful looked curiously at Willow like mist. And this is. I'm Leaf Tio's ex-wife. Willow like mist. She extended her hand first. Hello. I'm Sue Graceful. Sue Graceful politely shook hands. Hello. The atmosphere instantly turned awkward. Please continue your meal. I won't disturb you. Willow like mist turned to leave. Wait. I stopped her. How do you know Sue Graceful's name? She paused. Turned back to look at me. I follow company news. I know President Sue is your partner. That's all. Just that. She left, leaving Sue Graceful and me exchanging glances. She's your ex-wife? Sue Graceful asked. Yes. She's still pretty. Looks can be deceiving. Sue Graceful nodded thoughtfully. Didn't ask anything more, but I knew she had questions. On the way home after dropping her off, she suddenly said, how long ago did you two divorce? Legally we're still not officially divorced, but we've been separated over 7 years. Why haven't you finalized it? I hesitated. She refused before, and I couldn't be bothered to force it. Since we were already apart, a piece of paper didn't matter to me. And now, do you still keep in touch? No. She worked at my company for a while, but resigned. Sue Graceful nodded. I understand. Do you mind? Mind what? That you're not legally divorced yet. Sue Graceful smiled. If I minded, I wouldn't be with you. I trust you're responsible. Since you chose me, you won't have anything more to do with her. Her understanding moved me. Thank you for trusting me, but I think you should finalize the divorce soon. Why? It's better for both of us. And for her too. There's no point dragging it out. Sue Graceful was right. The next morning I contacted my lawyer to formally file for divorce. But the lawyer gave me surprising news. Mr. Leaf, Miss Liu contacted me first. She agrees to the settlement. This was completely unexpected. When? Yesterday afternoon, right after she ran into us at the restaurant, so she had really let go. 1 week later, we completed the divorce at the Civil Affairs office. The process was very simple. Sign, fingerprint, photo. Each took our divorce certificate and left. No arguing, no tears, not even an extra word. We were like two strangers finishing paperwork, then went our separate ways. Walking out of the office, my feelings were complicated. More than 7 years of separation, finally, legally over. From now on, Willow like mist, and I, had absolutely no connection. I should have felt relieved, but there was an indescribable emptiness inside, perhaps because it meant a chapter of my life was completely closed. No matter how deeply we once loved, no matter how much resentment came later, it was all in the past. That night I showed the divorce certificate to Sue Graceful. Happy now. Congratulations on regaining your freedom. She laughed. Now, we can be together openly and properly. We already were. But now, it's official. Sue Graceful was overjoyed, and I should have been too. But for some reason, I felt hollow. Perhaps completely saying goodbye to the past always leaves a little reluctance. Not reluctance for the person, but for the innocent love of our youth. 6 months later, Sue Graceful and I got engaged. The news spread quickly. Everyone at the company congratulated me. The engagement party was grand. Many business friends attended. Sue Graceful wore a white gown, beautiful as an angel. She took my arm, face glowing with happiness. Leaf Tio, thank you for giving me such a perfect engagement. You deserve the very best. We hugged, kissed amid everyone's blessings. Everything was perfect, except for one small incident. After the party ended, I saw Willow like mist at the hotel entrance. She stood at a distance, quietly watching the celebration inside. When our eyes met, she gave me a faint smile, then turned and walked away. I didn't chase after her, didn't tell Sue Graceful, because I knew she had only come to see if I was truly happy, to see if I had truly moved on. Now, she must be satisfied. I am truly happy, and I have truly forgotten her, at least on the surface. After the engagement, Sue Graceful and I started planning the wedding. She had strong opinions, clear ideas for every detail. I want a beach wedding. What do you think? Whatever makes you happy. And the dress. Simple and elegant. Why do you keep saying okay to everything? Don't you have any opinions? I snapped back to attention. Sorry, work has been busy. A bit distracted. Then tell me what kind of wedding you want. I thought about it. As long as you're happy, I'm fine with anything. Sue Graceful looked a little displeased. This is our wedding, not just mine, I know. But I really don't have strong feelings about these things. She looked at me, eyes showing disappointment. Are you sure you want to get married? Why would you say that? Because you don't seem to care at all. It feels like you're just going through the motions. I realized my attitude was wrong. Quickly explained, no, that's not it. I just think the ceremony isn't important. Our feelings are what matter. But a wedding is very important to a woman. It's the ritual that makes our love feel real. Sue Graceful was right. I really should care more. Sorry, I wasn't thoughtful enough. I support whatever you want. She finally smiled. Then let's plan it properly together. For the next hour, we discussed every detail of the wedding. Sue Graceful was thrilled. I tried my best to look excited. But deep down, something still felt off. Not about Sue Graceful, but a strange resistance to the whole idea of marriage. Perhaps because my memories of my first wedding were too vivid. Back then, Willow like mist, and I had planned everything just like this, full of anticipation. And look how that ended. Betrayal and pain. Now facing a new wedding, a subconscious fear had taken root. Even though rationally, I knew Sue Graceful was completely different. Love doesn't always follow reason. 1 month later, the wedding went ahead as scheduled. The beach was beautiful. Guests were plentiful. Everything was perfect. I wore a black tailcoat. Sue Graceful wore a white wedding dress. When the officiant pronounced us husband and wife, Sue Graceful cried, tears of joy. I kissed her, my heart full of emotion. This woman deserved my lifelong devotion. After the wedding, we went to Bali for our honeymoon. The scenery was breathtaking, clear blue skies, crystal water. Every day we walked the beach, watched sunrise and sunset from the hotel. Sue Graceful was radiant, her smile never faded. This is the happiest time of my life, she said, leaning against me. You too. Have you really let go of the past? She suddenly asked. Why do you ask? Because sometimes I catch you spacing out, like you're thinking about something else. I was quiet for a moment. Probably just work. Really just work. I looked down at her. What else could it be? Sue Graceful didn't press, but I knew she had doubts. Women's intuition is frighteningly accurate, especially about love. I hadn't completely let go of the past. Not that I couldn't forget Willow, like missed the person, but I couldn't forget the pain of that experience. It was like a thorn in my heart, occasionally pricking me, reminding me not to trust too quickly, including Sue Graceful. Even though my mind told me she was trustworthy, my subconscious still guarded itself. That guard kept me from fully diving into this marriage. Perhaps this is the aftermath of betrayal. The honeymoon ended. We returned home. Newlywed life was sweet. Sue Graceful moved into my villa. She redecorated everything, changed a lot of furniture and decor. Now, it really feels like a home, she said. I didn't object, because I knew she needed a space that was truly ours, not one still carrying traces of an ex-wife. Though in reality, I had bought this villa after returning to the city. Willow like mist had never lived here. But Sue Graceful didn't know that. The new home truly felt warm. Everywhere reflected Sue Graceful's taste. We lived like any normal married couple, ate together, watched TV, talked, occasionally bickered over small things, but made up quickly. Everything was normal and happy until Willow like mist appeared again. One afternoon 6 months after the wedding, I was in a meeting. My secretary rushed in. President Leaf, there's a woman downstairs who insists on seeing you. Says it's important. Who? She says her name is Willow like mist. The conference room instantly went silent. Everyone looked at me. I tried to stay calm, have her wait in the guest lounge. I'll see her after the meeting. But inside, I was already rattled. Why was Willow like mist looking for me? We were divorced. There should be no reason for contact. The meeting wrapped up quickly. I went to the guest lounge. Willow like mist sat on the sofa, holding a folder. Her complexion was much better than half a year ago. She looked like she had recovered quite a bit. What is it? I sat across from her. Congratulations on your marriage, she said first. Thank you. I came to give you these. She pushed the folder toward me. I opened it. Photos and documents from when we were married. Marriage certificate. Wedding photos. Some casual shots too. Why have you kept these? I know you have a new life now. These things might be a burden to you, she said. So I'm returning them. You can decide what to do with them. I flipped through the pictures. It felt like going back years. How much we loved each other then. How full of hope for the future. Why are you doing this? Because I want to completely let go of the past. Willow-like Mist's voice was calm. Keeping them has no meaning for me. Instead of letting them weigh me down, better to give them back to you. I looked at her, and realized she had truly changed. No longer the woman who cried and clung. No longer the ex-wife desperately trying to hold on. She was calm, rational, almost a stranger. What are you doing these days? I asked. I opened a small shop, selling handmade crafts. Business is decent. By yourself? Yes, she nodded. Being alone is nice. Free. No need to rely on anyone. The words carried a hint of irony. The woman who once depended on me for everything, now, claiming to love independence. Good for you, Leaf Tio. I want to say sorry. Willow-like Mist suddenly spoke. Not for the affair. I've apologized for that many times. I want to apologize for the time I worked at your company. I caused you trouble. I was surprised. Why apologize for that? Because back then I was selfish. I thought if I just tried hard enough, I could save our relationship. But I ignored how you felt, and put enormous pressure on you. She paused. Now I understand. Love can't always be saved by effort. Some things once lost are lost forever. Her words stirred complicated feelings. This was the first time I heard Willow-like Mist analyze our relationship so rationally. Don't you regret it? I asked. Regret what? Your original choice. She thought about it. Of course I regret. But regret doesn't change anything. I can only accept reality and try to live better. So are you living well now? Pretty well, she smiled. Not as wealthy as before, but my life feels rich. I've learned a lot, made new friends. Most importantly, I've learned to stand on my own. I nodded. That's good. And you? Are you happy now? The question caught me off guard. Of course, I am. Then I'm relieved. Willow-like Mist stood up. I should go. Don't want to disturb your work. Wait, I stopped her. Why give these back to me? You could have dealt with them yourself. Because these memories belong to both of us. She turned back. Since we're completely over, I feel you should decide their fate. She walked to the door, then stopped again. Leaf Tio. Cherish Sue graceful. She's a very good woman. With that she left without looking back. I sat in the guest lounge, looking at the photos on the table, feelings swirling inside. This woman had truly let go. But had I? That night when I got home, Sue Graceful was cooking. How was work today? She asked. Fine. I sat on the sofa. Didn't mention Willow-like Mist's visit, but Sue Graceful was sensitive. She noticed something was off. You seem down today. Did something happen? Nothing, just work stuff. She didn't push. But I knew she had doubts. During dinner, she suddenly said, Leaf Tio. A friend of mine is getting married next week. Shall we go together? Sure. She invited a lot of people, including some old mutual friends. Oh, and one person you might find interesting. I looked up. Who? Your ex-wife. Willow-like Mist. My chopsticks froze mid-air. How come she's invited? Because the bride is her friend. And mine. Sue Graceful watched my expression closely. Do you mind? Why would I mind? Because she's your ex-wife. Ex-wife, not enemy. Sue Graceful nodded, but I could feel her unease. If it makes you uncomfortable, I can go alone. No, we'll go together. Truth was I felt conflicted. On one hand, I didn't want Sue Graceful to think I still cared about Willow-like Mist. On the other, I really didn't want to see her in that setting, but I'd already said it, so I had to follow through. On the wedding day, Sue Graceful and I arrived dressed formally. She wore an elegant pale pink gown. I wore a navy suit with a silver tie. We looked like the perfect couple. The venue was decorated romantically, fresh flowers and ribbons everywhere. The bride was stunning. The groom handsome. Guests showered them with blessings. Sue Graceful and I found our seats, waiting for the ceremony to begin. Has Willow-like Mist arrived yet? I asked casually. Probably. I think I saw her earlier. Sue Graceful looked around. Over there. The one in the purple dress. I followed her gaze. Sure enough, Willow-like Mist, in a long lavender gown, hair elegantly pinned up. She looked more refined than before, more confident and independent. She was chatting with friends, a gentle smile on her face. The ceremony began. The couple exchanged rings, kissed amid applause. The whole thing was warm and touching. Watching the newlyweds on stage, I remembered my own 2 weddings. The first with Willow-like Mist, full of passion and dreams, but ended in betrayal and pain. The second with Sue Graceful, more rational and mature, Yet somehow it felt like something was missing. What was missing? I couldn't quite say. After the ceremony came the mingle time. Guests held champagne and chatted. Sue Graceful and I walked around greeting friends. Inevitably, we ran into Willow like mist. Sue Graceful spoke first. Congratulations to you both. Willow like mist approached. You two look perfect together. Thank you. Sue Graceful replied politely. You look beautiful today. You're too kind. Willow like mist smiled, then turned to me. Leaf To, how have you been? Very well, and you? I'm great too. Simple conversation. No tension. We talked like normal acquaintances. About the wedding, the weather, work. Sue Graceful listened quietly beside me, occasionally adding a word. Everything was calm, nothing unusual, but I could feel Sue Graceful's tension. Her hand gripped my arm tightly, her smile a little stiff. I'm going to the restroom. Willow like mist excused herself. We just talked so naturally. Sue Graceful said, yes, we're all adults. No need to make it awkward. Do you still have feelings for her? She suddenly asked. The question caught me off guard. Why ask that? Because the way you looked at her just now. Sue Graceful paused. Was complicated. I was silent for a moment. Maybe because she's my ex-wife. It's natural to feel something, but that doesn't mean I still love her. Really? Of course. I took her hand. The person I love is you. That has never changed. Sue Graceful nodded, but I could tell she still felt uneasy. That night when we got home, Sue Graceful removed her makeup at the vanity. I watched her from behind, suddenly, feeling guilty. This woman had given up so much for me. She could have married any outstanding man. Yet she chose me, a man once betrayed, heart full of scars. And what had I given her? Sue Graceful, I called her name. She looked at me through the mirror. I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? Because I might not be the perfect husband. She turned to face me. No one is perfect. I'm not the perfect wife either. But I deserve a man who loves me with his whole heart. And you are that man. She walked over and hugged me. Leaf To. I know there's still a shadow of the past in your heart. But I don't mind. I'm willing to help you chase those shadows away. Her words touched me deeply. Thank you for understanding. This is what love is. Tolerance, understanding, support. I held her tight, determined to cherish this woman, no matter what happened in the past. The most important thing now is our future. Willow like mist has completely become the past. Sue Graceful is my present and my future. From that day on, I threw myself more fully into this marriage. Went shopping with Sue Graceful, watched movies, traveled, did everything a married couple should do. Our relationship grew stronger. She grew happier. 1 year later, Sue Graceful got pregnant. When she told me, I almost cried from joy. Really? Yes, just came from the hospital. 8 weeks already. She touched her still flat belly, face glowing with maternal light. I picked her up and spun her around. We're going to be parents. Careful, don't drop the baby. I immediately set her down, nervously asking if she was hurt, if she felt unwell. Sue Graceful laughed at my panic. I'm fine, only 8 weeks. Our baby is tough. From that day, I became the ultimate overprotective dad-to-be. Worried every day about what she ate, drank, felt. Bought her every supplement imaginable. Went to every checkup. Bought everything our unborn child could need. Sue Graceful often teased me for being too nervous. But I knew she loved being cared for like this. At 8 months pregnant, we went for a 4D ultrasound. Seeing the tiny figure on the screen, tears streamed down my face. It's a boy. The doctor said, really? Sue Graceful gripped my hand excitedly. Yes. Look, the doctor carefully showed us every part of the baby. Everything normal. Very healthy. Our son is coming into the world soon. Walking out of the hospital, I felt like the happiest man alive. With a wife who loves me, and soon a little boy. This was the life I wanted. Complete, happy, full of hope. Right then I received an unexpected call. From Willow like mist, Leaf To. Congratulations on becoming a father soon. I was stunned. How did you know? I ran into Sue Graceful at the hospital. She told me. I turned around, and sure enough saw Willow like mist at the hospital gate, wearing simple clothes, holding some test results. What are you doing at the hospital for? Routine checkup. She walked over. Where's Sue Graceful? In the restroom. Willow like mist nodded. Then I won't bother you too. Just wanted to say congratulations. Thank you. She turned to leave. I suddenly asked, are you doing okay? She turned back and smiled. I'm great. Better than ever. That's good. Leaf Tiu. Thank you. Thank me for what? Thank you for teaching me independence, for showing me what real love is. Her words confused me, but she was already walking away. Sue Graceful came out of the restroom. Who was that just now? Willow like mist, she saw us here. Sue Graceful didn't ask more. Let's go home. I'm a bit tired. On the way home, I kept thinking about what she said. Thank me for teaching her independence, for showing her what real love is. I didn't understand, but one thing was certain. The willow-like mist of today was not the same as before. She had grown up, become independent and strong. Perhaps that painful experience was also her coming of age, and for me, though it hurt, it made me treasure my current happiness more. If I hadn't been betrayed, I might never have understood how precious true love is. If I hadn't lost everything once, I might not put my whole heart into this marriage the way I do now. So, in a way, I too have to thank that painful past. It made me a better version of myself, and let me meet the even better Sue Graceful. Now we are about to welcome our child. A completely new beginning. A complete family. All the past has become history. The road ahead I want to walk together, with Sue Graceful and our child.